We've seen scuffles outside the White House just a few moments ago. Have a look.
It's likely to be a long night ahead, and those tense scenes that we're watching there follow others over the past week. One of the most dramatic videos we saw was filmed by Minnesota local Tanya Kerssen, which showed people on their own front porch being shot with pellets by police. And Tanya joins us now from Minneapolis. Good morning, Tanya. Welcome to News Breakfast.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Tell us about that moment we just saw there. Each time I watched it, I still couldn't quite grasp. You were at home when it happened.
Yes, I was at home on my porch along with fellow residents and friends who live in my building, which is a cooperatively owned building with 4 apartment units. And we have a partially covered large porch on our front building that's separated from the street and from the sidewalk by a small front yard.
And you were outside when was it the National Guard, the police that were heading in, telling people get inside?
Yes, precisely. We were outside when we were hearing reports. First, let me tell you why we were outside. This had been several evenings of protests, of unrest in our city, and had realized, along with many residents of our neighborhood, that the best way to actually protect our buildings, to protect our local businesses, was to be a visible presence, having lights on, being on our front porch. And so that's why we were there. We heard reports of passersby of tear gas and rubber bullets, and police firing rubber bullets on even medical personnel, which I'm not sure if that's true, and media, which we've seen footage of, and people escaping, trying to escape some of that repression, began running down our street, and maybe a half a dozen folks trying to take cover. And then we saw that the police started kettling the block or cordoning off the 2 streets on the 2 ends of our block and passing through dozens upon dozens of primarily police, also accompanied by National Guard armored vehicles and soldiers.
And have you had any follow-up from the police after that event? Because people within your group did get hit, didn't they?
They did. 2 of us were hit by, I believe they're called marker rounds, or these hard, sort of chalky paint pellets, which, if I'm not mistaken, are used by the police in order to identify protesters so that they can be arrested later. So 2 of us were hit with those, yes. And there has been no follow-up whatsoever by the police. And I think that something that's really remarkable in everything that's happening that I want to convey is that there are so many people in our communities working tirelessly to protect our communities, to protect our businesses. I think from the protesters and organizers who are trying to prevent the next George Floyd from being killed, the next Breonna Taylor, Philando Castile, Tony McDade, and on, to neighborhood residents who are organizing watch groups, trying to protect their small and minority-owned businesses, to the media and mainstream and citizen journalists who are trying to foster accountability. And the police does not seem to be reaching out to any of these groups. And if anything, the police appears to be making, war on us, on our neighborhoods. And I think that that's precisely what you see in this video, and that's precisely what we felt on the porch Saturday night.